Hi guys, today we're going to react to Suicide by REN. This is a Buy Me a Coffee request from Pointless Lab. Thank you, Pointless Lab, for making this request. We love REN.
Thank you, Pointless Lab. We appreciate the support.
Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, I can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Sick boy, bitten by a tech boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick.
I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
Obviously, another dark subject matter from REN, which kind of incorporates previous songs and subjects he's covered before. Pointless Lab asked us in the notes to check the note that REN pinned to this video on YouTube, which kind of gives us the background to an extent, I guess, because what was in that note has not come into this as yet, at least, that I'm aware of. It so far sort of talks about things in a more sort of general terms about suicide, but also from his point of view, you know, with his situation and his illness and everything, which we have covered many times before. So we won't go into it in as much depth as we have before. But the lyrics, as always, are beautifully written and complex, but also easily understood. And there's something that struck me fairly quickly, that this song has a really cool vibe to it, which is almost contradictory to the subject matter. I was kind of bopping along and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not supposed to be bopping along, you know, to a song about suicide. But you can't help it because it's such a cool sound, and the way he uses his voice here and everything, just beautiful. Another sort of, when you listen to it, you think, oh, that's just an instant hit with me anyway. But yeah, this is like, yeah, playlist, you know, just that good. I thought that was a little bit odd in some ways, you know.
Subject matter clashes.
Yeah, he's not hitting you like hard straight away. It's kind of like a backseat. He's drawing you in. He might be playing with us. We'll find out. It's interesting. And I really like the look of this, you know, the animated look from obviously real footage, at least some of it. Some of it was used from Sick Boy. That part was from that video. REN, the musical Swiss Army knife, strikes again. You know, it's another sort of almost subgenre of music that he's tackling here, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, he leads what I normally say about the other artists. He's a sound scientist, a musical scientist, because he knows how to put things together. The first thing I thought listening to this song, it's kind of funny, you know, because the subject matter is so severe. I would place this song around a campfire with one person singing and playing the guitar and tapping the guitar. That's all you need to carry this song, and it sounds like it should be a happy vibe song. It's so detached from the subject matter, that scenario. I read this as magic. I almost feel slightly guilty for enjoying it, especially after reading his note on his channel. It's simultaneously a severe subject matter and a wonderful experience to listen to the song.
Because the vibe of this has like a positive sound to it.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, it makes me suspicious because knowing Ren, everything he does is calculated. So I would kind of think that he's planning something for us, and I'm kind of prepared for it, which is probably not a good thing. But I'm sitting there thinking, okay, something's going to come. When is it coming? What is it going to be? He has this way of, like a fantastic filmmaker to kind of keep you on the edge of your seat. Even when you know his music, you kind of go, oh, what's he going to do next? Something's going to happen here, because when I think Ren and the title of the song, Suicide, I was preparing myself for, I'm just not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Because we know he can get to us. He is very emotional. Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, the camera's on me. I'm going to try not to cry. I'm going to try not to cry. And then the song starts and I'm like, oh, cool. This is a cool vibe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm very much on edge here, thinking, okay, something's gonna happen.
Before reading the note, I thought that we were gonna get something in the form of a cautionary tale, because it's Ren and because the title.
We still might.
Yeah, we still might. And also in his note, he did state that he wrote this song in a different manner in which he usually writes songs. Usually writes songs, according to his note, by meticulously planning each and every line and each and every aspect. But this one came from a place of raw emotion. He said it just spilled out of him, and he just recorded each section as he wrote it. So I think even Ren on autopilot will give us something Renny here.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of that note that he wrote, was that sentence when he said, the words just fell out of me. It was just like, wow, okay. But I'm loving these couple of lines here in the chorus, fallen through the cracks of the night sky, a light goes out on the other side. It's just beautiful imagery, straight away puts you in that frame of mind, Also, the video itself is very gray, very kind of dark colors, which really also sets the mood of this song. He does have a way about him, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the second half of this.
As am I.
Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sega, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plastic ass. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd, fuck.
At the end of it, one thought sort of went through my mind, which was, it's another therapy session for Ren.
Yeah,
that's just what it feels like. There's something very sad and heartbreaking, but also a little bit cathartic at the end.
Yeah, when you reach the part in the verse where he says, I fucking miss you and I miss myself, it got me thinking about what we know of Ren so far. Ren has had and still has his own demons to deal with. And losing Joe, one of the most important people in his life, took away the last bit of innocence or sense of hope that he might have had. So he says, I miss myself. I'm a different person now for having losing you. And that kind of hit close to home because I can relate to it from my personal life. And I agree, you could look at it as a therapy session, but At first glance, it looks like Ren just broke down in that last verse. It's like he stepped away from the format he has built for this song and he just told you what it's about.
Sometimes when you're creating anything, writing, whatever, the true purpose, reason, urge to write about whatever topic doesn't reveal itself straight away. And I think it may have happened to him here because he was writing about suicide from his own perspective when he was very sick and struggling with it all, and maybe even later struggling with his desire to be a performer, a musician, an artist, and all that thoughts of suicide would creep in, I guess, at some point.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like the realization dawned on him that the real motivation for writing this song was actually Joe. Then it really pours out of him, you know, in that way that that maybe he was as surprised as the rest of us at the way that this song sort of ends.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool to think about. I don't know if that was exactly the case, but it is interesting.
There's an element there that is just as strong as the sense of loss. It's the sense of regret. I think forever, for his entire life, he will feel guilty for not seeing his friend in the time of need, which may have caused him not to get there in time, not to see that something was going to happen. It's something that he'll have to deal with. He says, I picture running 5 minutes quicker. I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge. And then we're crying and holding you, my brother, and telling you it's fine. That's not the way that I worked because I was late like a jerk. So it just didn't get there in time. Those few minutes were crucial.
At least he'd like to think so, yeah. These few minutes may not have made any difference, but that's where the guilt is anyway. At the end of that, there was another line that said, there's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. So basically, he's saying that it breaks his heart, the fact that he wasn't there. He in the note that Ren pinned to the music video, he actually said that a few nights earlier he met with him in a pub,
yeah,
and they had a drink, and the signs were there, but he didn't see them. I mean, we always, you know, hindsight is 20/20. But he regrets not seeing it, not being there more, you know, not paying attention in that way, maybe, as any human being would in this type of situation. But obviously, none of it is really his fault. It's tough. Like, it's a really, really heartbreaking kind of song. I mean, for Ren, this happened at a young age, and it's like he immediately lost his whole childhood.
Yeah.
After that, like he was saying, that he couldn't even connect with the same old friends that they used to have and all of that. Once Joe was gone, that whole connection was broken. So yeah, really sad, but at the same time, at least it brought this sort of inspiration, you know, for him to write. He mentioned that he named his album in memory of Joe, Freckled Angels. Yeah, a lot of it is very sad, yet very cool, yet very interesting. Again, it's the magic of Ren. He manages to touch you with everything he does. And I think that connection to the viewers, the listeners, you know, the fans, is his biggest strength. He's found a line of communication that hits where it should every time.
Yeah, in that sense, I think he's fortunate to have built himself up to become a conduit of artistic expression. He affects other people's lives, I think in a good way. Whether he's doing this knowingly or not, he's putting it out there that there's always a better way to deal with negative emotions.
Yeah, and a lot of the best art comes from some kind of suffering, some kind of a sad story, some kind of trauma, some kind of loss. It's turning that into something positive comes out of. It's not really turning it into a positive, but into something that brings positivity is really, I think, what it's about, and what connects with the wider sort of audience, where you can touch people and you can help people and you can help your own experience bring something good. I think without Ren's illness and without his experiences, he would not be the artist that he is today. So it's like all that suffering, all that shit brought us Ren. And that's the way, you know, we should be looking at it, rather than crying, complaining over our own shitty lives and whatever we have to complain about within those lives. Additionally, he mentioned that a lot of the money that he's raised from the sales of the album and the song and whatever goes to the RNLI, which is the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, who are the people who helped search for Joe's body, which, as far as we know, has not yet been found. But a lot of it helped, and some of those sales are also going to Joe's family. So that's also really cool, and a way to bring something positive into the whole thing. And just mad respect for Ren for that. That's just awesome.
Yeah, Ren, I think, is the perfect example of somebody who got lemons and made lemonade. He continues to astonish me as a relatively new fan of his work with every entry he makes. It's a good thing that people like Ren exist because they serve a higher purpose in that having that outlet for artistic expression. I think a lot of people are benefiting from that in the best way possible.
Yeah, no question. I would say he is a gift, and a gift that keeps on giving, because when with every song that we cover, it's like we also, you know, we get something out of it, whether it is to do with the subject matter and the lyrics and, you know, and the way he approaches it, or just the awesome music that he releases. It's just fantastic. Really, really cool artist.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy we came across him, because without this show, we wouldn't have, or may not have. Thank you, Pointless Lab. An awesome request, the first request from Pointless Lab. And yeah, we appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Pointless Lab, for requesting this song. We enjoyed it tremendously. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the little bell icon so you'll get notified on all our future videos. If you have a request you'd like bumped up the line, please make it through Buy Me a Coffee. All contributions are, of course, very much appreciated. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you all for your time.
Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate the support. Keep it coming. We'll be back in a couple of days with a new episode, and we hope to see you all then. Thanks again, guys. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.